Here we go. Let's go.
Blast off.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of The Keep. Thank you for joining us. We are very excited that you are here. We hope that you sharing this time with us is a spot of sunshine in your day. It's been a week. I'm really glad to be here with you guys. This is gonna be good. We're getting into stuff tonight. So real quick, before I get started, we do have a few announcements to take care of. First off, as you can see, there is no Jonathan today. He will return next week. Next week or the week after?
I don't know.
Week after. He will be in Colorado next week.
Yeah.
Lost.
I won't be here next week because I will be with him.
Okay.
So we know who
next
we're
week-
sacrificing.
Good to know. Kill them all.
Next week, stay tuned for the deaths of Halbert and Kazator. Calling it now.
The long-awaited.
If we're both getting Jaegered, one of us is dying.
I got you.
They're both gonna
I got
historically.
I'll take
open
one.
a timer.
You're not allowed
Run.
to
Brenda, would you Jaeger me, please?
Yes, if you would like me to, I will.
It's a minimum of 5 squeaks every 30 seconds. It's a thing. Must be maintained.
Hey, we'll take that under advisement and throw it out. So,
It's in contract, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somewhere.
I do feel like someone tried to make that canon in the Sanctum series. It's under advisement. We'll see if the council.
He did it before I did. He did that. Like, that's not something I came up with. That was a thing. Anyway.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Welcome.
Garrett.
Welcome to the shenanigans of the day. Also, we are still working with another Texas-based group of streamers called Dinner and a Game. They are awesome people. They are going through a Strahd campaign and an Eberron campaign and a Firefly campaign, and every so often we'll throw in an evening of playing Among Us, where we get to backstab each other, and it's just delightful. So definitely check them out. I am cast on the Firefly show on Friday nights, so I'm partial to that. If you get a chance to see it, come check them out. Also, we are doing a giveaway. We are so close, guys, to 50 followers on Twitch. So close. And as soon as we hit that 50 followers, one of those followers will receive a, randomly chosen, we're not just going to pick one, but randomly selected follower of those 50 followers will receive a copy of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. And guys, it's legit. It is super cool, especially heading into winter.
Cool.
The sort of Arctic horror theme campaign information is just delightful.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
It's really cool. So definitely check it out. Spread the word. Follow us on the other social medias. Facebook, Instagram. We have a Twitter. It will be more active. Wes, I know you had a couple of things you wanted to bring up too.
Yeah, so obviously this week is for any people that know, or I mean it's common. This week is a big week for a couple things. One, on the 10th is the birthday of our beloved Marine Corps. So for those who have been around, the November 10th is the birthday for that. And then the following day, the 11th, is Veterans Day. And so I would just like to say that if you are interested in finding a way to support vets, there's lots of good charities out there, lots of good ways to get plugged in. As someone who I know vets, I am one. There's lots of good things that you can do to help out the vet community. I personally have been involved with organizations that help out Simplify Fund. I am a big fan of them. I've done work with them in the past. And so for me, I like to support them. But I mean, if you feel like, helping out during these, helping out some vets during this time and this week, find a good charity, do some research, and then show some vets some love. So that's about what I got.
And for those of you who have served, we do want to thank you for your service, and especially you, Wes. We missed you while you were gone, and we're glad you're back.
Glad to be back. So we can do this. See who
Yeah.
can kill us. Woo! Night Bane dies first.
Oh, no
Start
problem.
a hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag Night Bane dies first.
God, I want to put that in my
Sure,
videos now.
That's a hashtag.
Piss John off. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not.
What?
I'm just saying.
Highly
This
encouraged.
dies first.
It's like Han shot first.
Also, who's doing our Take This?
Oh, that'd be me.
Go for it, Jay.
So we are partnering with a fantastic charity called Take This. There will be a link down in the thing. They are really focused on bringing awareness, training, and different. What's the word? What's a good word for it? Not just products, but
Services?
Services. Thank you.
Programs?
Programs was actually the word I was looking for, but services also works for bringing this awareness to mental health in the gaming community, and really working on kind of decreasing that stigma on mental health. I know that their mental health is, especially nowadays, is a big thing for everyone, but
Hashtag 2020.
right? But the gaming community has this kind of stigma against it, and so Take This has really done a lot of work to try and break that. So if you have the availability to donate, again, the link down below will take you right to their page. You can find out more about them. If not, feel free to spread the word. They really do great work. They've been at conventions and things like that. So if you can help out in any way, do so. That's all I got.
I miss conventions.
I do too.
One day.
Are you trying to just... Why are you hurting me?
Why do you
I
hurt?
hurt with you.
Because she doesn't get enough pain in the campaign.
I'm legit, when I do get the foam builds going, I'm going to, make one for 100 people, and we're just going to go storm the castle, and it's going to be great.
And what's your vice plan?
Storming the castle.
You think it'll work?
Before
Then
we
again,
get
I
too
gotta
far
finish the
off
plastic.
task.
We're gone. Hey guys, last time we got this distracted, know who died?
Oh.
So speaking of Garrett's
So before I go to
bills,
record tonight, this is what we're doing. We're doing this right now. That's going to be in a video I'm going to put on later. Say hi to my channel.
Hi guys!
It's all chaos.
Hi.
Everything fucked.
Video in second.
So just as a note, Garrett
recording
also
tonight.
does have his own YouTube channel, Night
Oh,
Shift
yeah,
Night. Should definitely check it out. He's posted a lot of cool stuff.
I didn't even think about it, but it's a segue.
It is. Bravo.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let's go ahead and actually jump into the game.
Oh god!
I want to just take a calm couple steps, rather. I'm scared. I don't want to die.
Easy. There's no jumping. This is like, waddling into a cold pool. It's like, I don't wanna.
I mean, we can start at the shallow end, ease y'all in,
Yeah.
dipping the toe into the water.
It's been
I pick up Jordan and I throw him in.
Cannonball!
So when last we left our heroes, the 11th Hour had managed to mostly survive the Umbra Hulks here in the Underlord's lair. They were all alive by the end of it. Rye, Rye survived thanks to the efforts of our cleric. There we go.
Thank you for not
dying. You made your way to the exit of that area. Rye got a couple of questions posed in her direction, thanks mostly to our Elven Ranger, Halberd. I don't really recall anything actually being decided except, okay, we can deal with this, and sure. But you
like
managed to come together as a group to make the decision of where to stay the night. You traveled through the rune teleportation system to the entrance to Ard. Overnight, there were many dreams and conversations that were had. Halberd was visited by LaRue, a mysterious figure of some great power, who upgraded his charm that he had been able to teleport Nightbane to, this demi-plane he essentially carried with him. Val had a conversation with his own deity, and that progressed to a very interesting event the next morning as the party had leveled up and Val had gained access to his oh, this is awful. I cannot even remember the words right now. It's not your channel divinity.
Divine
So
intervention.
you had that.
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention. Where you asked Sayanine to help to break the bond between Val and the Traveler. And in her own way, Sayanine answered your request. You had a successful intervention.
In her own way. In her own way, yeah.
In her own way.
Things.
You teleported back into the populated section of the Beholder's Cave. You had a conversation with a number of armed individuals who were not terribly thrilled with your presence. You, with Rai and Kazator's assistance and some aid from Doran, you managed to talk your way into an audience with the Underlord, an agreement for these people to lead you, taking the shortcut, essentially, the shorter path, or at least the easier one, provided Solyax submitted himself to be blinded. Rai cast a darkness spell, enshrouding Solyax in a sphere of magical darkness, and you began to be led deeper into the cave. That's where we will go ahead and pick up, as y'all are heading deeper into this cave system. You had been in this room with a larger cavern sectioned off with various rough hides and sort of patchwork homespun room dividers. Kazator, you know there's a small cavern not terribly far away where a lot of the master artists and artisans created works to please the Underlord. And an eating area with the faint sound of banging metal that you heard earlier has not ceased, and you are led across this cavern through a dark tunnel. And as you pass through this tunnel, there is a moment of disorientation, almost as though you're being spun in a circle very quickly. Not quite enough to get you dizzy, but enough where you can feel that lurching in your stomach a little bit. And then the tunnel opens. And it's almost like stepping back into the daylight. You see before you a bridge over a vast expanse. It is elegantly created, beautiful workmanship, a gentle arch up and over what you look down to see is a river. You look up, you wondering why it's so bright in here, why it feels like daylight, and you can see various tunnels carved through the rock. And it's hard to make out at this distance, and especially with the light shining from them, but it seems to be some sort of lenses reflecting and reflecting the light, the sunshine from above, and illuminating this cavern. You see, I say you, but everybody but Solyax, because I believe he's the only one
ears,
still
Wes.
shrouded in the darkness.
I can still hear. I'm just
You
blind.
can still hear.
Plug your eyes.
It does feel almost as though you step outside. These sounds are almost like you would expect from a city. And as those of you who can see look around, you see a massive bowl of stone that has been carved and created. There's a river that runs through it. And in the sides of this bowl are terraced gardens, vibrantly green with life. You see downstream, some of these are fenced off, set aside. You see some small creature 350 feet below the level of the bridge, just herds of these creatures in their own corrals. You see what looks to be some sort of tanning operation and leatherworks, various buildings. Upstream from where you're at, you see a number of other bridges at various levels, a few that are higher than you are, a fair number that are lower, that branch from cavern to various levels, and it looks like a sprawling city. You see vibrant colors of all sorts of people and fabrics that have been created here. You see, Doran, this catches your eye. Upstream a little bit, what looks to be a chimney work of some kind, channeling the smoke of a forge. Not just a forge, you look a little closer and it's hard to see at this distance, but a number of forges are channeling this heat and this smoke up, and you can see through some clever mechanical work, it looks like it's powering some sort of mill. There's a water wheel spinning through the river down below. You see a few boats that are ferrying from one side to the other. You see dwellings and houses of various plazas that have opened in these streets that are filled with brightly colored tents of some sort of marketplace. This is not consistent with what you had just come from. This is culture and this is civilization. And you realize that the front that they let people see is meant to be
Maybe we
another
jumped the
form
gun.
of defense. That this is what they were protecting. When they talk about their people, there are hundreds of dwellings, probably thousands of people that live here. You see the terraced gardens just lining the bowl of this small city. And even that is not enough to sustain all of these people. I mean, this is only one area. What more would there be? But you're led across the bridge, just sort of taking all of this in, and especially once you get to the highest point of the bridge over the stream, you feel a faint breeze. This isn't dead air. This is not cave air. There's some sort of airflow that has been created that flows through this area to bring new life, essentially. And it's very comfortable. It doesn't feel cave-like when you're here. It's like a comfortable, balmy day. Late spring, early summer, just beautiful weather. The sun's shining down. There's a comfortable breeze. You'll head over this bridge. And you're led to another tunnel. You have a brief moment of that disorientation. The next cave you go through is a little bit darker. A little bit more cave-like. Caver, oh my gosh. And
It's chill for dwarves.
Essentially.
No, it's like goblin-y or something.
It is full of another type of garden. These are rows and rows of raised beds, and it looks to be various types of... Actually, are any of y'all proficient in nature?
Bit Nope.
Not proficient.
Nope, Howard's not.
Okay. So you see
So
mushrooms.
A half proficiency.
You know what? Kizator, I'll let you go ahead and make the roll.
Obviously, the green dice. That's not bad. It's a natural 15, and stats are loading.
Actually, go ahead
Nature.
and have Halberd make it too, but have Halberd make it a disadvantage.
What? Then I'll make it. Oh, let's see here. Like a disadvantage. 10.
10.
17.
T-shirt on your head.
No,
Alright.
ridiculous.
Halberd doesn't recognize it. Kizator, there's something about the vibrancy of the colors that are here. Shades of pinks and reds and purples, especially in the mushrooms that are growing of huge size. Like the smaller ones are as big as your palm. There's something here that reminds you of stories you've heard of the Feywild.
Mushrooms. Interesting.
Is there an Italian man running around them?
Lauren, from Val's time in the Feywilds, does he have any recollection of this or any experience with this?
Make a nature check.
That's not bad. Modified 20.
Val's probably eaten a few of these, yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Y'all are led through, and how long does darkness last?
10 minutes.
Okay,
Till
because y'all have
dawn.
been walking pretty briskly at this point. Right, you're feeling you've got maybe another minute or so on your spell.
I'll mention that too. I don't know if it's Yakov or someone else will just mention to it. Darling, we only have a little bit longer where I can keep him blindfolded this way. Do we need to switch to more of a fabric blindfold, or are you okay if Celiac sees what remains?
When you say a little bit longer,
Probably 60 to 45 seconds.
it's another 5 minutes till our destination or so. A fabric blindfold, if you will.
Of course, darling. So
Bag his head.
I'm grab a something or other and blindfold him.
Okay. Wes, I can't keep a straight face right now.
That's terrifying.
The expression plus the whatever that is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Everything floats down here.
Y'all are led through this mushroom garden and through these raised beds. There's another minute or two that you see a transition to other types of plants that are hardy, that are designed to grow in darker places. Winter crops. Val, you do recognize one of these. You know that one of these is called Teo, and it is very similar to buckwheat that would grow on the surface, but it is a very hardy plant made to it succeeds well in difficult environments. It grows at higher altitudes. It grows where there are areas of less sunlight or more extreme environmental conditions. This is one that you have definitely come across before. As y'all are led through this, there's another brief tunnel, another moment of this lurch in your stomach. And you're led into another small set of caverns. You see there's this entryway-like cavern that opens before you. You can see a tunnel guarded with half a dozen guards in beautiful ceremonial armor. Doran, their armor catches your attention because it is this beautiful silvery blue sheen to it that you have not seen in an age. Like, this is
Not since we got out of that cave where it was apparently at and not is.
You saw the residue of it. The last time you've seen this is early days of your training when a very valuable customer of your family came and hired your father to do some work on his mithril armor.
I'm salty now.
Are we getting Doran backstory?
I mean, y'all aren't. That's just what Doran knows, but he recognizes...
Players are... I don't even have Doran backstory. Screw Casator.
So it catches your eye. They are well-armed, very professional looking. You notice 2 of them that are armored with a very light armor have very small, like fist size or slightly larger creatures that are floating over their shoulders. As you enter and come close enough, you can see these are small floating eyes almost with a few small eye stalks that turn and they all focus on you. Yakov nods at Rai. Your companion may see if you wish to remove his blindfold or keep it on. That is entirely up to you.
That was a very long moment of decision making, but I'll snap it off. Lauren, how is this the path that Rai walked when she went? How much of this is familiar to her?
Most of this is familiar to you.
Okay.
It was not quite the same bridge when you were led across the city, and you'd spent a little bit more there. You'd had some exposure to some of the citizens, but you came through the same garden area, and this is the entrance to the Underlord's receiving chamber that you had previously seen.
Lauren, quick clarification.
Yes.
Those lurches in our stomachs as we moved, was that...
Val would be very familiar with the sensation.
Ah, crap. I was hoping...
Something to note, by the way, those of y'all who have passive perception 15 or above, who are of the Sproutling Sanctum, you're getting a hum in your necklaces that you hadn't been feeling for quite a while. Really, ever since you made that first transportation into the Beholder's lair.
So, just out of curiosity, does this feel more like the Sanctum version or the Quarry version of Planeshopping?
More like the Quarry version.
Oh, that's not good.
So
Solex isn't wrapped in darkness anymore, right?
Right.
And the blindfold is technically off, Wes.
Well, okay then. You didn't say that.
I
Yeah, she did.
she did.
She did.
though.
Let's do it.
He was blindfolded. He couldn't hear us.
I don't think that's quite how that works.
I'm going to make a quick attempt. I'm going to try Rye this time. And see, since it didn't work before, maybe it's just because level up and doing stupid things. See if I can do the telepathic contact again.
All right.
And also, Lauren, I didn't recognize the armor, or was it just that I recognized?
You just recognize the metal. It is high quality mithril armor.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I was like, I don't know. I think I was half paying attention or something.
Val, how hard are you trying to push this? Because you try and make telepathic connection to Rai, and there's a brief cold numbness, and you can't make contact. Are you continuing to try and push into the cold? Are you trying to push past that?
I mean, I'm not going to go to the full, like, he's got a constipated look on his face. But, yeah, Val's definitely going to try and push a little bit harder.
Okay. Make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, why that one? Okay, that's not bad. 16 plus 19.
Okay, good deal. You reached out a little harder. You try and tap into that mind space, that power, that connection to Tana that permits you to do that. And the cold overtakes you. You reach the point where you feel like something is about to break, and you're afraid it might be you. There's almost a sensation of pain, but you stop, almost like, you know, when you stretch and you stretch so far, it's almost to the point, like it's past uncomfortable.
No, you glitched.
I'm stretching my toe, very feeling.
Yikes. Yeah. That's not good. Hang on 1 second.
You get the notification. Nothing's changed.
So, noting that didn't work, I'll walk over to Ryan. This method of travel felt very familiar, and I don't mean the walking. This felt like planes jumping to me.
Warren, is that the impression I would have gotten?
You have years more experience than I do, but this didn't feel like a sanctum.
Well, there's many different ways for trains to be jumped. It's not primarily a sanctum thing.
Well, that's true, but that means that these portals aren't being used by our journal as we saw previously. Oh shoot, I just lost the name of the town. Where the Grisalka was. Crap.
Where the Grisalka was?
Yeah. Has a look of thinking on his face, and
It's not Grimhold.
no, it wasn't Grimhold. It was.
Why is it not on this map? Tarendale?
There was a town that we went to recover another journal, and it had actually opened tears between planes that anybody could just walk through. Creatures, people, didn't matter. This feels much more controlled. But that means that at least my understanding would be that he's not using our journal to create these particular portals. Would you concur with that, or do you have experience?
I guess, Lauren, do I can BS my way through this, but do I have other experience you want to specifically speak towards?
I mean, feel free to play with this as you will. Rise, a very experienced planes jumper, having experienced multiple avenues to get from one realm to one plane to another. While the sanctums do have it down to kind of an art form, especially the older, more well-established sanctums, like the library is like walking through a door, and you were one place on one side of the door, and now you're on the other side of the door, and it just happens that the door opened through a different dimension. That was the way that you traveled. You can feel free to share any or none of your experiences with going to different planes.
Well, darling, I take it you are new to this whole Sanctum runner thing. How long precisely have you actually been doing this?
only for about 2 years, but previously to that, there were a people that my clan was at war with that had forced open gateways to other planes. One of my tasks and the way in which I earned my freedom was to escape through one of those gateways. The Sanctum I've only been with for 2 years. After that, I had spent some time in the Feywilds, which is where I escaped to before my Sanctum found me. So I have limited experience with certain types of plane shifting and things of that nature, but this feels more like, to be honest, it feels more like home than it feels like Sanctum controlled.
So again, I'm sorry, darling. Maybe I'm missing the point. You have experience with planeswalking, both through the Sanctum and through your own people. But planeswalking here is unusual.
For me, this doesn't feel like the Sanctum. This feels like more of what I was used to back on my home world, and that this beholder has had for quite some time now access to one of the journals of our Sanctum. So my worry originally was that he was using our journal to create these portals to create this warped reality, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I just wanted to see if you felt that might be the same way, or if maybe you had different experience.
My experiences are multivaried in these topics. So yes, planeswalking is not something held specifically by Sanctums or by particular groups. So I would say, to use your logic, darling, if it doesn't feel like your Sanctum, it probably isn't. And in this circumstance, it is entirely not. The Underlord has been here far longer than he's had your journal, and he does not need your journal. As you can see if you observe the people in front of us, he does not need your journal to have any sort of power. He just collects because he enjoys.
That's fair. I will admit, this is my first run-in with well, I've heard stories. This is my first run-in with a creature of this type. So I defer to your knowledge and experience on this, but I don't know. It just felt a little bit more familiar than I was anticipating.
You will find the further that you get into this job that you will encounter many things that are just on the other side of familiar. So you need to get comfortable with that now.
Fair enough.
So, Lauren, what are we looking at right now? I mean,
Right now,
Solix takes the blindfold off. What exactly is he looking at? Who's around us? Is it still them guards, or?
yes, you see these half dozen guards sort of lining and guarding a hallway, a tunnel that leads further in. It is all like the caves that you had seen previously, Celiax. It's consistent with that sort of stonework. It's consistent with that sort of color of the rock and the feel of it. The mineral deposits are very like the outside of the Holding Highlands, where Boulder Peak sits. You're in the tunnel heading that you came through fades very quickly into darkness, and you cannot see through it. The way ahead, there's another tunnel that these guards are standing by, opens into a larger cavern a little ways down. You can see that, and it looks like it's relatively rectangular shape. It looks like the next cavern is longer than it is wide. You can't quite make out what's happening at the far side of it, but there does seem to be a presentory air in this particular area.
And then how many of just how many escorts from the original village do we see?
There are 4 of the guards that are still around you at this point, in addition to the 6 that are ahead.
Okay. The 4 around us, are they the fancy Mithril guards, or are they the ones that met us?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
They were the ones that met you and have escorted you here.
Cool.
And they are considerably more shabbily garbed in
Yeah.
clothing, in armor, in weaponry, in general appearance and cleanliness. They look much rougher and more slipshod almost than what is presented to you now.
Now, can I get like a sense for the fancy guards? Do they seem like battle ready, or do they just seem like show?
Are these like Palpatine's royal guards that just stand there, or are these stormtroopers?
Yeah, like
Or
what?
actually do shit?
Like what are we looking at? Like are these just the Queen's guards with the funny hat, or are they actually like somebody important? You know, like.
Make a perception check.
No, that's nothing.
It's hard to tell. It's real fancy armor, very shiny.
But they themselves, like looking at their demeanor, don't seem to be.
They don't seem aggressive. They are alert and like they're standing at attention. As soon as y'all came in, you were under their watch. You haven't really moved forward yet, so they're not
Scars or anything, like no crazy like apparent battle wounds.
Not that you see with just a cursory glance. They are, I mean, they're well built, they're muscular, they do seem very fit. But you're not picking up a whole lot of detail at this particular moment.
Lauren, when you say the ceremonial armor, is there any sort of symbology on it?
Yes, actually. The stylized circle with the line through it is rendered in much greater depth and detail and is significantly more eye-like. There does seem to be a number, as that focuses at the centerpiece of their breastplates. Around the edges of that, there do seem to be, 8 or 10 smaller circles that are similarly worked into the metal. There is scroll work, there is detail, there is a sense of officialness that this is not just a job, but also a position, that it is this is very well made, very expensive armor. This is not.
This is the Gucci stuff. We came in with the guys that buy at Walmart.
I mean, but yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Would the style of it be familiar or similar to other styles or particular groups that, like ranks or?
Trying to think of what sort of role that would be.
Also, would that be something that, however it is, militarily trained, as well as Solyax. Obviously, Solyax isn't seeing much of anything, but...
No, not right now.
I make armor for a living, or I did, or whatever. Do I know anything about what's up with their kit? Other than that it's pretty and made of things I want to make things out of?
Two of y'all, go ahead and make just general intelligence checks. So roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifiers.
All right, is it Halberd or Solyax doing which mod is Wes using?
Well, who are the two? Me and Halberd?
Sorry. Doran and Halberd.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you're talking with Doran to Rye or Doran to Hal.
We're having repeats of last week. Or what was it the week before? I don't remember.
Halberd's more intelligent than I am, obviously. Modify 20.
Okay.
That's a 1 plus a 4.
Okay.
Distracted by the mithril.
I was going to say, somebody's distracted by the shiny things.
Hey, it's okay,
Very,
dude. I
very
just rolled one
shiny.
for solely just for fun. He also got a 5. Haha!
Okay, so Halberd gets a sense that this is not only is it elaborate and beautiful armor, it is designed in such a way that it is also exceptionally functional. That it is the way that it is layered, the way the pieces are joined, the way that even though it's beautiful and the symbology that is worked into it is exquisitely detailed, none of it is crafted in any way that would compromise the structural integrity of the armor.
But does he get a feel for like hierarchy? Can he tell like, okay, this guy's in charge, or maybe that guy, like knowing it with the military background and knowing command structures and things of that nature? Can he be like, that guy has more filigree, he's in charge?
Not hierarchy. He does note that the two that have the little floating like fist-sized eyeball creature things are like their function is different. They're prepared with pouches, like what he would more commonly associate with casters. Exactly. Rather than strict melee fighters, although they are also very well armored in very much the same style of armor as the others.
Okay.
So their wizards can wear heavy armor.
Armored wizards.
Doran, you would know mithril is exceptionally light. That is one
Even
of its
more reason that I
hallmarks.
want this.
It is. It is.
Oh right, because I just watched that movie about the guy with the jewelry and the mountain and the fire. I should have remembered that.
That
Yes. Love the description. So you would know actually it is designed to be very hardy. It is a very durable metal. It is very lightweight. It is easy to move in. How normal plate armor or heavier types of armor tend to be loud, jingly, clashing, clanging.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing's ever loud.
You need to just have like a bunch of pots and pans to bang together for Foley work.
I mean, I've
Give
got
ideas.
Right behind me.
Anyway. So you know this
So
is
basically,
lightweight
I
and it tends to be
really need
quieter.
to get some
Headphones.
stuff.
I meant headphones.
I apologize, everybody, but you got that phone. Oh, this is somebody who's walking.
So basically, Iron bad, Mithril good. We want Mithril.
Iron is still a very acceptable armor.
But if option there,
If option there,
yeah.
So, are we being let in right now, or?
have you moved forward at all?
Well, are they like pushing us? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
They have brought you to this place and they have stopped. The way is not barred, but it is guarded. How are y'all proceeding?
Well, let's try.
Cautiously and politely.
First,
Well, gentlemen, which piece of business would we like to operate off of first?
do we have options?
Well, there's the business with K-Store, there's the business with your sanctum, and there's the business with my sanctum, which I think may actually be more tied to your sanctum than originally intended.
Yes.
Oh, I sure would like to.
I actually, based on recent intelligence, I must concur. You already have a relationship with, or at least a rapport with, the Underlord, correct?
Fabulous, and I'll just start walking in.
I'll follow.
I'm with her.
Yep.
Yep.
We all follow.
Okay. Rye leads the group inside, and the guards escort you through the tunnel. They They don't enter the larger room, and you can see it is a larger room that, even though it is not traditionally worked stone, it is the raw stone has been formed and shaped such that there are a few recesses and like plinths almost to display special trophies, items. There are a number of art pieces and weapons and a few sets of armor that are displayed proudly throughout the room. At the far end, there is a slightly raised dais, and there is a you can see a tunnel that is raised up and perfectly spherically, like carved through the rock, ascending at an angle away from this particular room. And right by that tunnel, as you enter into this dimly lit cavern, you do see the large form of the Underlord, almost spherical. A large eye set above a mouth that is set into a wide, toothy grin. There's a chuckle that echoes low in tone throughout the room as you approach. And then, as the eyes are all focused on your approaching group, you're about halfway through this this chamber, this cavern. So you've got 30 or so feet when the Underlord speaks. Oh, back so soon, back so soon. What gifts do you bring me? You're not working. Why aren't you working? Do you have a gift for me already? His eye sort of locks on to Kazator. Interesting. I knew I would enjoy keeping you. Go on. What is it? What is it?
The look of sheer panic on Jordan's face makes this all worth it.
I forgot that I had worked on things that whole hour that I was and now I have to remember what I did with stuff.
While he's looking that up, as we enter the chamber, kind of looking around, Val's going to keep his eye out for his journal.
All right, make a perception check, Val.
Okay, that's good. That's real goods. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. That's not as good as it used to be. Lauren made a change on my thing. 19 plus 8.
27, that is very respectable. Val, your eyes scan over a lot of these art pieces. You see there's a small framed drawing of a pair of boots and a wildcat near a bridge. A scroll that is rolled up, tied with a blue ribbon set with arcane symbols. You see a very realistic small black statue of a horn. There's a silver statuette of a raven, where the beak is colored with a dark red pigment and tiny black crystals inset into its eye. You see a set of 3 books, leather-bound, that glow with a soft internal luminescence. You can't quite make out the details from where you're at. You see a medium-sized tapestry set against one of the walls of a squirrel and a rowan tree. A glint of light glimmers off tiny bluish crystals surrounding this squirrel.
Does this squirrel look familiar?
As a matter of fact, it does.
I'm still stuck on the drawing of Puss in Boots. I didn't know who was a Shrek fan.
You see an elegant blue-silver bow with a gentle recurve of obvious elven make. A shield made of a reddish wood inlaid with a dark metal in a web-like pattern. There's a small area where there's jewelry, and one of these catches your eye. It's a ring of red stone with a series of raised purplish shapes in a golden setting. These purplish shapes almost appear to resemble a small brain. There's a large cedar sculpture
Nope.
of a flower bouquet. It's comprised of lilies and lavender sprigs. These bell-shaped flowers and these almost leathery leaves that you can see. It's very exquisitely carved. You see this small etching of an abstract humanoid image. It looks to be a broad-shouldered knight of some kind. A small painting. Set into a golden frame of a red dragonborn in a forge, striking manacles off of a small goblin. That it's set back a little ways, and it's in kind of poor condition. It's old. You can see where the canvas at the edges is starting to fray and yellow a little bit. There's another very small painting of a hydra, and you have no idea how the threads of this tapestry are so vibrantly colored. It creates a very realistic quality.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
He has all the swag forever.
Has he seen the journal?
He sees what he thinks might be. It's with these two other books that also have this slight luminescence. He can't quite get enough get a clear enough view of it at this distance to be certain that's what it is, but it's the only really book-like object that currently captures his attention.
Does
we all
to be buzzing that direction, or
Say what?
does the necklace seem to be buzzing that direction, or
don't we get
when you're this
mental-
close to it, it's
mental
hard
pains?
to pinpoint a direction. Especially with the emanations off of the journal having impact, you don't even know how far away. You know the journal's close, but you can't quite tell what direction it's at.
Did Howard look for other exits?
Make a perception
Sounds
check
about
for
right.
Halvard.
While all of this is happening, Rye's just going to casually slide in front of Case from that. Shad, darling. Yes, that is
21.
among the things that we wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, we'll deal with that in just a moment, Rye. What was Halvard's
21.
21? The clearest exits he sees are the one directly behind the Beholder, the Underlord, the one that y'all came through. And he thinks it's hard to tell. There's a small shadowed alcove in the, up and to the right above where you came from. It's you're not sure if it's a tunnel or just a little recess, but it is dimly lit and hard to make out. It might be another way out.
And then did the Mithril guards follow us in, or did they stand back?
They followed you in. They are stood back a little ways. They're about 20 feet behind you, 15,
Okay.
20 feet behind you at this point.
Good to know.
So he looks at Rye and he's like, oh, don't do this. Don't business before pleasure. No. If he brings me a gift, I must have my gift.
I have prepared several things for you, my Underlord, and I shall start with but a taste of the preparations that are to come.
Oh, do go on.
These are so bad. I forgot how bad these were. I should have been working on these.
That might be to your favor, though.
Start with a simple poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. Your lambent eye glistens like the morning dew.
And
I
then
had to use lambent.
He stands there for 10 minutes and his eyes are, he's doing like that eyebrow
eyes.
thing, like,
But just the one.
I can't do that. Yeah.
I pause for a second. And I'm like,
There's an
How
awkward
about-
silence that fills
And-
the air.
an ancient form of poetry called a haiku from my homeworld.
oh my gosh.
The great Underlord, aberration sensation, Lord Shadesviel.
I see K-Star just smiling.
If I get the feeling that he's like very unimpressed, I'll launch into my third one. I was hoping to say that.
There's a moment of silence, and then a chuckle just fills the air. It's like, oh, you're joking. You're being funny. Oh, that is, quite clever. Yes, no, keep me guessing. Is that it?
Oh, balls.
Oh, I don't.
And now the finale of this first portion, with more to come. Spoken word. This is as far as I got while y'all were doing your thing last time, and I was supposed to be in my little room writing at my desk, so I totally forgot this existed. Casator, a humble Asimar, bard in the service of the Underlord. Shadezfiel, you're looking swell. No words can tell the greatness of your stature next to a world of ne'er-do-wells. An aberration of renown, your name an inspiring sound that can confound the keenest mind. Even the blind can see your power, charmed for an hour, then they cower at your might. To your delight, the great Shadezfiel told the bell because church is in session. Here's my confession. I came for more than spit and verse or acquiring lore. It's about to get real, because I may be here to make a deal.
Oh, that's amazing.
Make a performance check.
I don't trust my dice.
Right.
Good reason. It's okay. My performance is really good.
If only you were a bard.
It was single digit. My performance is good. Okay, it doesn't want to load because I dared to leave the page for a second to look at lyrics. I think it's a 19. It might be higher, but at least a 19.
Okay.
Strucken down the end.
Hey, performance. Oh. No, it's not 19. It's 16.
Okay.
It's gonna be one of these days.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
All right, waiting. Before I pronounce judgments.
2 seconds. What'd you say?
It's a 12, right?
No.
He's getting ready to judge, is what she said.
It didn't take. I was fiddling with my level up stats, and I never solidified, so I only had one of my expertise. There was supposed to be expertise and performance. I'm checking to make sure that that's the case, that I did not select one of my expertises.
Ooh.
Master proficiency, because I get expertise at level 10. Yeah, and it's only Arcana, because the other one should have been performance.
Okay, go ahead and switch
So
that.
at DM, or it wasn't a switch, it was just I hadn't selected the second one. But so with that case, that is a modified 20.
Nice.
They take it from a 7 to an 11. So
Okay.
Just barely pass.
yeah.
Well, it's not as good as your first gift. I won't dispose of you yet. You still have potential. I expect better upon your next visit.
I'll take more than an hour next time.
Oh. Only an hour to create these works. Oh, I shall enjoy keeping you. This is, going to be so entertaining for at least the next year. And then I may get bored of you, we'll see. You'll have to be creative.
I was nonchalantly fingering the crossbow.
Very well, you may leave. Continue work. Come see me again soon.
No, darling. He's staying because I understand there was a situation that happened that led to him being in this position, but he's actually not best suited for life underground, being forced into labor. There's just some people that find that they work better with a little bit of freedom, and unfortunately, Case Tor is among those.
Oh, but I gave him freedom, Miss Rye. I gave him his life. Did he tell you how he came to be in my domain?
Something about some sticky business.
Oh yes, very sticky, very sticky. This little fellow. It's almost funny. They tried to transport me out of my own home. I can only imagine the difficulty that would have come there. And oh, when the magic backfired, whatever he was using, it brought him right to me. And
It simply heard you didn't get out much and were dying to meet you.
Raya's not breaking her form at all, but Case Tor is right behind her, and so she does flick him with her tail.
Which is not seen right now, right?
Oh no, she's in her tiefling form.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that would be even funnier if he just got hit by nothing. Yeah.
Well, Shad, what exactly do you expect of the reputation that you have been cultivating with the world outside of this one? Of course, people are going to try and teleport you out. They have no idea what's going on here. A big, mysterious creature with a lot of power. What do you expect from them?
I expect respect. I expect
What
my
information,
privacy.
darling?
Oh, information is mine to distribute as I will. You know this.
Yes, but what I'm telling you is that you're advertising yourself poorly.
Oh, I'm not advertising myself at all, and that is the point.
But you are in whispers, darling, of people hearing about your nature. And so obviously, if they hear these little whispers, these little rumors about this creature of power who is doing things of untold wealth and ability, what else are they thinking they're going to do? And you know how this planet operates, so it's so kind to people of diverse species and races. I mean, honestly, can you expect anything better from a group of adventurers who come here and hear these tales?
Make a persuasion check.
Lauren, we're all standing in what would be considered a fairly close proximity while he is looking at us, yes?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, do we have a setup for us to look at so we know where things are?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Not yet. All right.
It's a dirty 20.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, right. You sadden me. I suppose you have a point. Spoil my fun. I'll just have to close all the doors then, make sure no rumors of me get out.
No,
That's
darling.
just the only way to fix this. You're right.
That can't possibly be. See, the problem is we're coming at it from a parasitic standpoint rather than a symbiotic one. The rumors that are getting out are the wrong rumors. You need to advertise differently about there's this fantastical thing, but you're never going to get there. And then that means that the people who are arriving, who are aware of the abilities and things that you can do, they're coming and they're trying their hardest, so you get even more entertainment out of it. But if you just change the doors that they're approaching so they never encounter your people, they just encounter your menagerie. Well, isn't that even sweeter, the types that you would encounter?
Oh, you do have a point. It's so much more fun seeing if they can make their way to me in the first place. All those abilities getting displayed. I get to know so much about them before they ever arrive.
Yes, darling.
Oh, you do.
That's the things that you may be able to negotiate with them for. I mean, my goodness, someone walks in and they're an amazing archer. And then whenever they come and talk to you, you can help them be a better archer. You're just gaining so much more information if you force them to go through rather than necessarily encountering your people.
You do have a point. Oh, you do. You're so clever, Rye. You're sure I can't keep you?
Unfortunately, I have business elsewhere, but this does not necessarily mean that our relationship cannot continue past this. I would be happy to come in and entertain you a little bit more, hear stories, and trade and negotiate with you. I mean, you have so many fabulous items, darling.
Oh, I do. I know I do. It's so lovely. You want something, though, I can tell.
Well, as you will recall, there were some particularly interesting things that I noticed whenever I came here last time for the circuit. And then I found out about this business with Kazator, and so I thought I would see if I could help a little bit with that.
Oh, the just reward for his rudeness. I don't know what I can do about that. I've already rendered judgment. But if there's another item, I'm sure we can come to some sort of negotiation.
Well, darling, I know you feel like you have rendered judgment in regards to Kazator, but I mean, really, what have you gotten out of this? You did not leave your cave. They were unable to do it. You got a very interesting and fabulous tale that I'm told, but honestly, I mean, you've seen the work that he's produced. Do you really feel like it's worth your time to...
Oh, if it's already this good with only an hour's work on it. Imagine what he'll do when he's been here a month.
I'm gonna flick him with my tail again.
I have been working on one for a very long time. I think it's coming along quite splendidly. Roses are red, sometimes they're pink. This is a great one. What do you think?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Make a deception check.
We're all gonna die.
The dwarf's head is being hung.
Does it come at
Deception
advantage
first
because of
and
how
then
I started it?
Deception first and then performance.
Did I aid at all?
That was amazing.
Like, I feel like he said that, and you just see the whole party, all of them just like,
My close punch him.
Well, I'm just gonna walk by and slap him.
Okay, deception is 18.
We're all gonna roll initiative on Jordan.
Performance is 21.
Okay. You you are a funny one. Oh, the lies do not become you, though.
Ow.
We are men
Keep
of
working
action.
on it.
Lies do not become us.
Now, if you have business with an item, and you had business with this individual of mine, what about your other companions here? I know one of them has caused my people some distress. Tell me why I shouldn't just get rid of him.
don't know who that could be.
I feel like
We
he
all
is
look at the
best
dragon.
represented by himself.
Oh. Once again, the whole rest of the party is just like,
Can I use my last poem to have given him inspiration?
I don't know how inspiring that was.
One woman's opinion.
We'll pass on it this
The
time.
only one that matters right now, Jordan.
That's literally the only opinion that matters at the moment.
So,
Ugh.
the Underlord, this aberration, actually, who's proficient in insight?
So,
I
yeah.
believe.
Right.
The Holy Boys.
I think Halberd is too. And Halberd.
I am
I'm
too.
actually
Oh,
I'm actually
dang.
proficient in that.
Like all of the boys. and
Wait, you
girls.
said insight?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
insight.
insight.
Wait.
Yes.
Which is very
I think
weird.
it's
I don't know
perception.
why.
I don't think I am. I'm not.
So everybody but Kazator, that tracks.
If
That
you
tracks.
are, that does track. If you are proficient in insight, roll an insight check.
Oh, good. My dice have been so
Oh,
good.
those are all bad.
Fuck my life.
Oh, I am proficient. Ha!
Oh, wow.
It's investigation that I'm not.
Natural 20.
9.
Mm-mm.
I am
I got
rolling
7.
poop.
I rolled.
I haven't rolled double
5.
digits yet.
Okay, here's the real interesting facts. Soyax rolled a 6 plus 6. Halberd rolled a 7 plus 7.
Okay.
I rolled a 6 plus 6.
I'm gonna go.
Who rolled above a 20? Okay, Val. There's something about the Underlord's demeanor that throws you a little bit. You'd heard the stories of beholders. You were the one who first made the connection between the name of the location, the vague stories you'd heard, the histories you'd had some idea of, putting the pieces together to realize that the Underlord is a beholder, as evidenced in front of you. But his demeanor is not matching up with what the stories would give you to believe.
Not really.
In fact, the collection, the wanting, the possessiveness, the wanting more, that sounds like something entirely different.
Something that maybe we have experience with in spades?
Possibly.
Just a dragon.
Oh, shoot.
Albert going off.
Albert does.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, looking around.
See, and you describing these eyeball logos where it's got a line through it. It's like, well, why would it have a line through it if it were actually
think
meant
not
to be
horizontal,
real?
think vertical. So a circle with a line straight down.
Well, but I mean,
Almost
See,
more
that-
cat eye.
I was about to say that's
yeah,
more
but
reptilian to me.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean,
Lauren, out of curiosity,
because my mind's thinking like the cancel sign or the no symbol.
the looking around, do I get a very hoardish feeling?
I mean, it's obviously a carefully curated collection. That the Underlord here is like he takes great care of his own things. You remember the city that you came through. He calls that his. It's well taken care of. It is bustling. It is thriving. You get the sense that the things that the Underlord owns, he possesses, he guards, and protects. And I mean, it doesn't make sense. Beholders, aberrations in general, don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something that doesn't sit quite right with that.
Based on everything he's seen, heard, and experienced, is there anything in particular that's triggering that feeling? Like, is it just the way he's talking about things, or is it more of the I don't know how to ask the question I'm trying to ask. This trying to make a connection and it's not working.
I will say the things that are sort of connecting for you are the way he's talking about things, especially Kazator, this possessiveness. When he's had Kazator not even a full 24 hours at this point. The collection, this hoarding sort of nature that you don't recall being a in any of the stories of the beholders that you'd heard before.
Okay, that helped. Yes, Garrett.
Beholder can do anti-magic things, right?
Yes.
Does that just happen, or do they have to choose to do that?
They can choose to turn it on. They can choose to turn it off.
Okay, that actually, I meant to ask that earlier, and I got distracted by Kazator.
Am I still smart?
Eaten.
That's actually a really good question.
That is
Yeah.
a really good question.
Because he thinks we're in the lair, he would want to do that.
Quick.
He would want to unmagic us. And do we know if dragons
I guess that's a
anti-magic?
good question. Did I experience that at all whenever I came through?
Mm-hmm.
Right, yes, you did experience the anti-magic.
Okay.
the first time you came through. Looking up definitions of things. Do.
My train of logic was, I don't know if dragons can anti-magic or not, but I figured beholders can. So if this is not a beholder and it's a creature that can't anti-magic, but we haven't been anti-magic, then it's not a beholder. Trying to find the breadcrumb trail so we can ask the dumb question, are you a dragon? Are you really a giant eyeball?
One more thing I have to check.
Booper duper.
Okay. As a matter of fact, Doran, excuse me.
Yeah.
You do seem to be having more difficulty making connections with things than you did before.
Oh, well, that would explain my dice rolls.
So
Cool. If I check my hammer, it's just normal, right? Storm axe is a normal weapon. Not that I'm drawing it, but like I'm just like, are you still zappy? You don't have conversations with your gear? Oh, just me?
I definitely do.
Like the tiny sleeping bag, you tuck it into bed and pat it on the...
Okay.
Not on the blade, you gotta be careful.
Doran, it is odd. Make sure I'm saying this correctly.
So it's like a 9, perhaps?
Maybe a 7.
Perhaps even an 11. Hey.
11.
Doran, as you run your hand down the handle of your weapon, you still feel the humming electricity.
Okay. So I'm just a dum-dum, though.
But Lauren, I'm down hit points, right? Because like if it's breaking magic, I got the belt on that gives me Constitution bonus.
Double checking. Okay, look at your information. Tell me, I don't think the Belt of Dwarvenkind is an artifact. I think it's just wondrous item.
Yeah, it's a wondrous item.
Yeah, so yeah, you are down hit points.
So actually, what's the classification of the axe? I should probably write that down, yeah?
Probably an artifact.
As far as you know, it is just a weapon.
Cool, I won't write anything. I'll leave that alone.
I assume
Play with that later.
Goes for the crossbow as well. They were from the same stone, similar.
Yes.
Well, this is just balls.
I probably took the headband off and looked at it and then threw it back on.
Okay.
So my cloak of protection, what's that doing?
Oh,
I believe that's just
it's giving you style points.
I believe
I think
it's just a
just
wondrous item, so
yeah,
it is inert.
It is.
It's a cloak. It keeps you warm.
Oh, so like certain levels of... Okay, I see what's
Oh
happening.
no, what about my shield pendant?
I'm understanding things.
Oh.
Lauren, what is still on?
I believe it is just the crossbow and the axe.
Okay.
I don't think
So
y'all
basically,
have
anything
any
that's
other...
less dope than my axe and his crossbow is
The
doo-doo.
only other thing I can think of would be Celiax's sword.
Yeah, but that.
Is his sword rad?
It's a legendary piece of equipment, but I don't think it's an artifact. Is it?
Let me look at my notes.
Mine's not an artifact. Mine's like new,
just
dog.
legendary.
All the technical
axe
mechanics.
An
All the
artifact.
text. Welcome to D&D, people. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff going on.
D&D, it's so much fun. Adventures every time. I'm not
Just
a bard.
sing that for the Underlord. Oh.
No, I'm not a bard. Screw you. You write that down and you do it.
I'm not resistant to cold anymore.
Yeah, no. Not an
Excuse me, I
artifact.
didn't
Yeah,
mean to sound so snippy.
Cool. So I have a sword. I just need to get out of this eye.
So as far as y'all know, just to put this out there, when the anti-magic is on,
Yeah.
spells and other magical effects, except those created by an artifact or a deity, are suppressed in the sphere and cannot protrude into it. Slot expended
Axe
to
is a
cast
god?
a suppressed spell is consumed.
You really are Thor.
While an effect is suppressed, it doesn't function, but the time it's been
Creative.
suppressed counts against its duration.
Hey, just out of curiosity,
Okay, I can't be killed so easily then.
are my spells considered gifts of a deity?
No. Your spells are fueled by spell slots. However, that frozen, numb section of your brain, frozen.
Ah! Oh, you need words later. Ah!
That's a gift from a deity, so.
Oh, fudge! Oh, fudge!
Anyway,
brownies.
so I threw Celiax under the bus.
Right.
So, Right has thrown Celiax under the bus. Celiax, or anybody else, what are y'all doing? How are you responding?
At this point, I'm looking around the room at things because I know I'm mentally useless now.
Make a perception check.
Oh, this will be exciting. Holy crap! It was above a 5.
That was a 6.
You say perception? Okay, 16 because 0.
Wow.
Okay. So,
Is there any swag that's dope to just look at?
there is a beautiful, pristine sketch of a very tall, solidly built huntress and a willowy mercenary with jet black hair and a very detailed style. It catches your attention for a little bit. And then there's...
Are they twins?
No.
Okay. I thought that was a reference.
It might be, if you know what it's referencing. More power to you. There's a set of chainmail made of this same blue-silver material that you had seen the guards wear previously, and it is exquisitely worked.
I've got a nugget. I want 4 ingots at minimum.
Doran, there's a small series of cubbies carved into the rock wall, and this catches your eye first because of the workmanship of the integrity of the carvings here, and then you realize that there are a couple of pieces of parchment that are rolled up and held within these cubbies, essentially.
It's like shelves on the carved into the.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Just trying
A series of scrolls there.
to. Okay. Neat.
You also do note the 3 leather-bound books. As you're a little closer to it, actually, than Val was. One of them does look to be very similar to the journals you've had in your keeping. The others are very similar in appearance also, but there's writing on the bindings of some kind. You'll have to get a little closer if you want to investigate what it says.
Well, since all the eyeballs in the world are looking at us, I'm just gonna mentally note that's where it is, and also write it down, so we can unpack that later.
Okay. What are the rest of y'all doing?
Well, considering I've been thrown under a bus, I will look at the Underlord and say, "Oh, yes, the Underlord. Heard so much about you. Just curious, though, that you stay here. You don't want people to know about you. You seem perfectly content to enslave those around you."
Oh, I enslaved nobody.
As Celiac started
maybe
talking,
feel free to leave then with us.
I'm just take out my notepad and start writing my last will and testament.
Make sure to use that summoning ink so we can just
Yes.
call you.
He broke my laws. He must suffer the consequences.
broke your laws, yes?
Yes. A kingdom, a civilization is nothing without the rules that bind it. He broke them. He must be punished.
Hmm.
He is not enslaved, he is more imprisoned, perhaps.
Yes, what are the terms of his imprisonment, or more importantly for his release then?
He is free to wander in my domain, going where he will. He serves me, he creates for my entertainment. And he's been so productive already. Haven't you seen what he's done? Oh, he's very talented.
So you've just hired a court jester then? For your kingdom?
I mean, the tracks.
Okay, the store is offended.
Jester.
I do
Yes.
chuckle at that. because
Yes,
that
that
was
is what we shall call you, my jester. You shall entertain me, jester.
Scratching Soyex's name out of the will I'm writing.
If I'm close enough, I pat him on
I am
I guess
curious,
on the
though.
shoulder as I laugh.
This is your kingdom, yes?
My domain. I
I
wouldn't
have
call
made a
myself a
horrible
king.
mistake.
You can call me a king.
Okay. Well, if you're not a king,
this
you
is
can't
on
have
you,
a
right?
jester. I
I
thought
feel like
only
the Underlord has a big
court
head.
jesters.
Sorry, I did not catch that, Solyax.
I said if you're not a king, then can't have a jester. I thought only kings could have jesters. Now
Oh no, you're
lord.
severely undereducated. A jester may reside in any court of the land.
Oh.
He just resides in mine.
Shut.
Really- Oh,
Sass
yes,
is
Miss Rye.
real.
Don't spoil my fun, please don't. Oh, he's
I
fun.
sincerely encourage you to have as much fun as you desire with Celiex. It's just specifically in regards to the situation with Kazator. Is it really fair to punish him for rules he was unaware of? I mean, surely there's some sort of like first strike, second strike sort of system. Maybe a bit of a pardon because he's new and he has provided you such entertainment for an hour. Now he is aware of your rules and how to appropriately respond and speak to us. And you know, we were talking about better advertisement for you as well. What better advertisement than someone who has been here, seen your riches and your glory, and then goes to share a few little tales about their trek through your tunnels and your menagerie to bring you more people. What better punishment could you give him than to be advertisement for you?
Oh, but if he's out advertising for me, I miss out on all of his wonderful entertainment. Truly, he's so new and delightful, I cannot bear to part with him.
But isn't the entertainment what he's
I-
What
bringing
if he
to you?
live streams it to you?
I actually may have a solution to that. I have
Oh, negotiations. Wonderful. Present your solution.
I have the ability to several times a day send verbal missives from myself to or others to beings I'm familiar with. Having met your illustriousness, I am now familiar with you. I could, as he is advertising on our travels, and we do travel quite a bit, I could
Stop.
pass along his works to you. If I may, would you permit me to give you a demonstration?
I am familiar with the power you speak. I am, in fact, capable of gifting it to those who favor me.
Oh, the frack. We are so screwed, y'all. That was out of character, by the way.
Perhaps you could gift
No,
it to
no,
me,
it
and you
wasn't.
would not have to hear my wondrous works tainted in Val's tongue.
Oh, is this something you desire?
Oh.
I thought it might be amenable to you for this arrangement.
And what do you want?
I think the idea was that I could leave your domain, as you put it, and be free to carry out my business, but also would be more than happy to work on works that I could send back to you at the same time, and send others to you, perhaps to be maybe a more effective ambassador and more gifted than Fiskin, but perhaps a little more true to our arrangement.
Oh. this is exciting. I knew I would like you.
Don't you already have a
Did we
master?
have a deal? I will permit you to leave. And you will entertain me.
Well, in terms of service, darling, is this a permanent arrangement, or is there at some point in time whenever he would be able to finish it? Perhaps, say, he brings you someone who is even better than he is.
I got 4-month subscription plan. Just gotta keep posting videos, bro.
I do think... Oh... If you're so talented, I think a century or so is quite reasonable.
Do you live that long?
I do. That's like pushing my
That was out of here.
cap at this point.
Do you now, having been aged a little bit?
Yes, from my point, I can still live another century, but I'm gonna be. Well, yeah, I'll be fine at a century.
Isidore, don't you already have another master that like has you doing stuff?
It's fine. Cut out.
Like Val, his masters don't know about each other, so...
Called playing the field.
Isidore, ho!
Yeah, y'all called me a whore, dang.
Wasted horror. Anyway, shouldn't have put that out there.
And all right.
Okay.
You serve me, you entertain me. You gift me with your poems and songs and stories for a century. And I will permit you to walk free.
I am willing, with the caveat that if within that century I bring you my master work, I would be free to go, just as your other patrons are.
You bring me your master work and swear a solemn oath that you shall create nothing further past that. Your last
No,
word.
that works.
Is that a masterwork of the particular type, though? Say he brings you a song and then writes a story.
Oh no. No, his last work, the epitome of his prowess as a story songster bard. Who he is, his
Would I
best.
be permitted to write more poems that, like I presented earlier, after the masterwork? So long as they did not exceed the masterwork. I realize they are quite fantastic, but I have a lot more to give, I think.
I will permit you to create one couplet a month after you gift me with your masterwork. However, if I deem any of them to exceed your masterwork, you become mine eternally.
Does eternally include after death or just in the mortal existence?
What does eternally mean to you, Bard?
I don't know what your powers extend to.
You have seen the extent of my power in my domain. I can alter reality to suit my own whims. Do not think that I am incapable of what I say I can do.
I do not question your capability in what you say, merely qualifying what you say based on your capability. Could this one couplet a month be substituted for other art forms, but of a similar stature, one something, if I got into painting later in life or something?
If you
Don't want
choose
to
to
be
take up
too
another
limited.
form of art, you must send me samples of your work. Or no, even better, you would spend a period of time training here, in my domain. And I will judge.
Actually, more appealing.
I will judge whether I shall permit you to create them outside of my realm, or whether I shall keep them. Do you have any further negotiation you wish to pursue?
Look at Ryan and say, what am I not thinking of?
Lauren,
No,
you said that numb feeling's gone, right?
No, it's still there.
That is still there.
Oh,
It is still present.
It's from a deity.
okay.
There's a few things that I have curiosities about. First of all, have you ever considered apprenticeships, darling? I mean, you have generations that come through your doors, and father apprentices to son and mother to daughter. I mean, in this situation, he has none that he could apprentice. Wouldn't it be, first of all, of benefit for him to apprentice? And secondly, I think you're misunderstanding in some ways how masterworks are developed, particularly among those of his kind. It does not happen indoors. It happens whenever you have experiences and joys and see things. And so I think, first of all, just the premise of him coming back here doesn't make any sense. And second of all, you've given yourself no way of replacing him, which is where I return to my original argument of you provide him the opportunity. If he can find someone better than him to serve you, he is free from his agreement. He has an apprentice that he has trained up and he has given to you. Therefore, you have a lineage.
The last 20 years of your century, you shall train an apprentice.
Darling.
And then
That is
I
terrible.
shall then judge their worth.
20 years, 20 years.
20 years.
Personally, I think this is a terrible deal, but case forward is to you to decide how much further you wish to negotiate this.
We could make it 50. You're right, 20 does seem rather paltry. 50 years of traveling and returning from 50 years to create a lineage, as you say, Miss Rye.
Reducing
successor.
what I'm leaving Rye.
No, darling, you misunderstand. Again, what are you doing with bringing him? What are you doing with bringing him back here? What is he supposed to gain from coming back here? Being stuck in a little alcove? Where is he supposed to find inspiration in an alcove?
Have you not seen the variety of areas I'm able to send my people now?
Yes, but think about all the areas that he can go if he is not necessarily beholden to where you can send him, but where he imagines.
Beholden.
Oh, God.
That's like a mean
Darling,
level joke.
I think you're viewing this poorly as the fact that you do see this as even a possession where you hold him in the first place. I mean, you don't, again, want a parasitic relationship. You want a symbiotic one. It's when you already have with the people around you. I mean, they love you and they guard you and they protect you. And in response, you provide for them. Rather than threatening him with being stuck in one place and not able to pursue his own delights and his own interests, give him an opportunity to find freedom.
I do think you misunderstand. I provide for my people the safety and the security. I do give them the tools to train themselves, but they do not guard me near as well as I guard them. You want to talk of symbiosis? That is the relationship. He would stay here and become one of them. Safe, secure, all his needs provided for.
But is that symbiosis whenever the person who's involved in the relationship does not wish to be there? Is that not parasitic?
It's true. If he truly wants to leave, well, he'd be breaking the law, and I'd have to send him to the garden again.
And again,
Don't make me do that again. I
this
just want
discussion
my
of-
last wordsmith.
the law, darling. Where was he supposed to learn this law? Is it written somewhere for him? Again, whispers. Those are the things that we're aware of whenever it comes to you. Surely you should give him an opportunity to work his way out of it. Not just in a 100-year sentence in being here, but in actually being able to... Are you waving? I don't...
No, I was gonna, whenever to... I have a question.
Surely you should give him him a chance to work off in a shorter period an offense that he was unaware was even an offense. Again, considering the reputation you have given him.
Sentence here into his century serving me outside, he has claimed his willingness to serve me in this way, and I shall
flicks him again.
Power that he requires to send back this entertainment. Now, he's not made for it at this point. There'd be a learning period, an adjustment period, and of course I would send one of my children to stay with him and to watch over him. We'll go ahead and pause that for just a moment. What was your question, Wes?
Actually, it was Halberd. Question 1. With a 21 passive, I think it's 21. He has a high, whatever passive perception
21.
Is, would he have seen the book?
Yes.
Where in relation to us is said book?
It is towards y'all, or towards the Underlord and off to the right. About 35 feet away from the group at this point.
Can Halberd attempt to very, chill, stealthily, just start, sliding that direction? Just, super chill. A little stealthy.
This isn't your character, bro. Don't kill someone else's character.
No, he's not going, he's just simply moving from where he's at to the party to, outside the party on that line. So he's not, going for it, but, being a little slide.
I did that in dodgeball as a kid once, and I was able to peg a kid. That was great.
Exactly.
And that was
Given enough
apropos
time,
of nothing. I don't know why I said.
He could do it subtly, possibly. Does he want to take the time to do it stealthily?
Oh, yeah, no, during this whole conversation, he's just oh, it's over there. Okay, I'll take a step.
Full stealth. Because there's not anything to hide behind.
And he's
So
not trying
he's
to
going
go
to be doing
through
it casually in view, but let's just see how
I mean, maybe move 10 feet closer to her.
A creature that has
Yeah,
all the
that's about what
eyeballs
it'll be.
forever.
Yeah. So what do you need?
stealth.
Yay!
Better roll good.
That thing that has 10 eyes.
Yeah.
Well, it really wasn't great. Yeah, that's a 16.
And
Halberd gets the sense. Actually, no, he's got enough passive perception to see this. As he moves, 2 of the little eye stalks are tracking him.
Okay, then he would stop.
Okay.
He would see it and be like, hey, look, just getting bored of standing still, so, sort of that shift weight thing,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shad, darling, if I may have a few minutes to speak with my client in regards to this so we can see if we can come with the final deal towards you.
My lawyer.
Fantasy lawyer.
You 2 may go.
Excellent, Esquire.
speak. The other 4 of you. I know
good.
you have distressed my people and not really given an explanation of why you're here. What do you want?
Well, here's a good question for you.
Oh, balls.
You say that you have watched us in the hallway and see what we've been doing and assessed our capabilities and everything, yes?
I am aware of all that goes on in my domain.
Everything. All that goes on in your domain. You're aware of the undead entities that are existing. And you're fine with that. But if you're
it's tragic, of course.
Oh, sure, yes. You're just allowed to exist. That's a whole other caveat. We can touch on that later.
No, let's address that now.
Alright, then we'll address that now. Here's an interesting facet. These people used to be under your protection, yes? These undead entities?
In life, yes.
Yes. But you also said that you have a claim on them eternally, yes? Much as you were talking about Casator?
You wish to know how to free your friend of his bonds to me.
Well, that's a side note. I feel like Miss Rice taking care of that. That's not really my prerogative right now. She seems to be handling that. I'm more concerned about the undead souls that you have just waltzing around through your lair. I mean, are you not concerned about their well-being? Do you not want to have them be put to rest? Do you have no care? Do you have no heart? No compassion? for those in your service.
Oh, they serve a much better service to me.
So you don't care about their well-being. As long as they serve you, that's all that matters.
I would not say
So
that.
heartless.
They serve a function here. They have died. They were laid to rest.
Their bodies are down, but their souls, their essence, are not down. Thus the reason they're still around, up and walking. And you seem to have no issue with this, yes?
Tell you what, I give you permission to go and lay their bodies to rest.
If I may speak to that. Oh,
Props to
Jordan, I'm
Garrett,
so proud.
Props to Garrett, because that's like his gif.
yes,
I'm so proud of you, Jordan.
100% yes.
Wow.
The beings that Solix was referring to, they were laid to rest. I didn't happen to see their burial site, but it seems as though they've been dug up and misappropriated.
Send that gift to our group chat
By
bot.
the,
That's what he meant.
They've been misappropriated by the ooze creature that was living there.
Spell eaters.
Yes, wonderful creatures. I'm
Oh,
sure.
they are. They're so delightful.
Unfortunately, they seem to have misappropriated the bodies of your people, and now their souls are no longer capable of being at peace or serving a function. They are merely tortured and in pain. At the moment, they can't even do more than try to guard their own bones.
Yes, as I said, so tragic. You have my permission. Go deal with it.
So we may have actually tried that already.
Then you recognize the difficulty in doing so.
I do, which is why I bring up this point. As you may have seen, since you are aware of everything in your domain, wonderful trick, by the way. I delve into the realm of death. That is the domain of my deity and what I'm very, very good at. However, taking on all those spell eater creatures was beyond my capabilities, and quite frankly, beyond the capabilities of our group by ourselves. Would you be willing to permit myself and maybe some of the others to accompany some of your people to help put those souls back where they belong?
My people have already tried, and died trying, in fair number. Unfortunately, we cannot.
Can I check that? Because I don't remember you mentioning that many bones.
You understand? The spell eaters were not originally such an ochre color. They take on a certain quality of color based on what they have consumed.
Oh. That makes sense.
What color were the boogers? I don't remember.
Like a whitish sort of yellow. Boogerish. Yeah.
Gross.
Some of them you did notice were decidedly pinker than others.
That's unpleasant.
That is very unpleasant. Well, we've managed to. I will say this: we've managed to destroy the mother ooze, the progenitor ooze.
Oh, you killed
The
this
Metroid
one.
Prime.
Don't
Do
worry.
what?
I said you killed this one. Don't worry, they'll reform and create another. It is what they are designed to do, that it was part of the gift that they were.
So they were a gift from a follower of yours, or?
Oh, not a follower, a negotiator, much as your friend, who found his way to my lair, and we spent some time together. He gifted them
Super
to me as a
uncomfortable with how you
means
say that.
of defense, to aid in the trials I set to any who may come see me unannounced. The entertainment
there,
factor, you understand.
No, I do. Would it be possible, with your power, unlike any I've ever seen, to separate the ones that have possessed the bones from the rest?
Oh no, they're much the same creature.
Interesting.
Literally the same creature.
Interesting. Learn something new every day.
Indeed you do. As I said, you have my permission to go and deal with the problem. They have created quite a situation in that cavern. I've had to seal it off almost entirely.
Yes, we did notice it was not easy to trek through.
Need an ice weapon.
Unfortunate measures, you understand.
But also not entirely sealed off.
Drastic cases. Well, as I said, it's a defense mechanism for my lair. Now, you still haven't told me what you want. You've accused me. You have rambled a bit. What do you want?
Well, I was attempting to get to this point, but then you wanted to take the side note to the undead speak. But here's the deal. I feel as though you already know what we want, why we're here. You know everything that happens in these lairs, then you at least have a good idea of why we're here. Do you not?
You beat around the bush.
I'm just gonna gesture at the book. Just stick my hand out in that direction. Because this is from a listener standpoint and from a gameplay standpoint, let's move on, you know?
Also from a dumb Doran at this point, Doran's like, what? We're here for this!
Well,
They're already less interesting. I thought they was unique. They're so special and powerful. Now there are 3 of them.
Well, would you be...
What would you give me in exchange?
Well, I'm not entirely sure if this would be helpful or not. It's certainly unique from my point of view, but I do not know your experience, and I will pull out the Chaos Blade and present it. Still sheathed, by the way. Making that abundantly clear, because I do not need a crossbow arrow in the back.
I think that's what you get?
Right. Or disintegration, right? And I'll present the blade. And this was actually a gift from a deity to my father. Deity known as the Traveler. And when active, it gave my father powers outside the normal realms of mortals. I have since, in my power, to being claimed by another deity, do not have access to the powers contained within the blade.
Well, it was rendered inactive.
For the moment, I'm not. For the moment. That being said, however, and I will, I'll lay it on the ground, and my family was able to make a deal with the Traveler, particularly my father, for the saving of his life.
Much like the deal I shall make with your friends.
That I will leave between you and my friend.
Indeed.
There are enough people meddling between the business of the two of you. I don't need to step in that.
You do understand respect, don't you? Go on.
I try. This could be reactivated by one of your people, or yourself if you feel so inclined.
I do not like the idea of any of my people entering servitude of another. And certainly not for myself.
And that is entirely up to you. However, it is a key. It is the key to access to said power. And I feel like that for you might be more intriguing than anything.
You do have a point. A key to learn greater power, to become more.
Set him on the supervillain trail.
This is always interesting.
I would be willing to part with this in exchange for our journal if you are willing.
Make a persuasion check. While he's doing that, Ryan, Kazator, what are y'all doing? Because this is, I think, getting close to wrapping things up over here. And this has been 10 minutes, 15 minutes for y'all to have a conversation?
Darling, ultimately you have to be the one to decide how you want to sort the situation out. I don't think that in conversation there's a feasible way to free you from this without you giving up your masterwork. A thought I would have is if you could get him to allow you to remain free for your whole life, and then you just occasionally need to send him back something you've written. Does he need you here to do that?
I think that was the arrangement that we were discussing, was that he would bestow on me the gift of the same message capabilities that Val has, and I would be free to leave and send back these works as I write them and continue my work for myself.
I'd hope to see if there's a way to get you out of it completely, but if you're comfortable with that.
Which is why I think that is the best compromise perhaps we can come to. I am curious, he mentioned something about sending one of his children with me, and I'd like to clarify exactly what that entails, but I think that the agreement that we seem to have come to would be amenable to me.
Well, if you are happy with it, you are the one ultimately who has to be responsible. So I leave it to you. But in the future, maybe perhaps give me the full details of how you end up in a situation.
Did we not?
No, you just told me it was a sticky one.
She's got a point there.
But she knew that we were trying to summon the beholder. That's why she left, because she was like, "We're not gonna."
I knew you guys were gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, y'all had talked about.
I thought we had that conversation. Yeah.
No.
Her extent was, how'd it go?
Yep.
But I'm saying before we ever did it, she left.
Even in White Brand, she left, and y'all were talking about that was right after Eska had asked y'all to deal with him. You hadn't had any talk of summoning him out of his lair until fairly significantly after that.
Yep.
You still have a theoretical contract out.
Oh, that's right.
The contract from Eska.
Oh, that's right.
Still the contract out.
Yeah, you're right.
That we kind of agreed to.
We said we would see. Anyways, I don't see getting out of here any other way unless we're in a body bag or he is, and I don't like our odds.
And you're right, darling. I stand with you.
I do appreciate it. And we'll head back over, I suppose.
All right, Val.
Yep.
What was that persuasion roll?
So I rolled a natural 19, but because I sucked, it was an 18.
Okay. I shall agree to this deal. One of the eye stalks sends a beam of light to the 3 journals, the 3 leather-bound books as a set, and it picks them up, and they hover to just in front of the Underlord, about 10 feet in front of where you're standing.
All right, I will.
At this point, these all 3 of these journals of these books are leather bound. They are very similar in appearance, And you can read now the titles as they hover towards you and you receive them.
All right. Is that something you want to tell me or text me?
Oh, I'll go ahead and tell you.
Yeah. How are we looking at these to make sure they're decent? Like what we think we're supposed to be getting with his passive perception.
Don't the necklaces kind of be telling us?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and plus Val had one in his hand, so he's gonna know at least which one's his.
Yeah, no. They all look very similar, and they're all giving off this soft luminescence, very familiar to what you would recognize as a journal. However, only one of them gives that aura, that heartbeat almost that you feel in the pendant. The other is the one on top is a cookbook, it looks like, written in Goblin. The illustrations on the front of the cover are etched in great detail. The pages are beautiful, but have some signs of wear and tear, like what you'd expect from a used journal. And you can't quite see the
cookbook.
The one on the bottom. So it's the top one on the stack is this cookbook, and I don't think you read Goblin or speak Goblin.
Nope.
But you spent enough time with Gribble, you can recognize the font. You didn't. You never did.
Halberd could probably see it. Though.
Halberd would recognize it as Goblin, but you get the sense that it is a cookbook. The journal is the one that is in the middle.
On the cover.
And then the third is you do recognize is written in Infernal. There seems to be some form of
probably can't now.
Cautionary tale for children about stranger danger.
I will open
the language.
The satchel that Doran built for the books, and I'll go ahead and place all three in there and hold up the sword.
The magic.
The eye stalk shoots a ray of light that impacts with the sword, and you feel it become weightless in your hands and just start hovering an inch or so above your palms, and then it comes, and it actually goes back to that same plinth that the journals were on and rests there.
And I'll give a bow and turn, and as I'm passing Soyex, kind of returning to the group, kind of whisper, please don't get us killed yet.
Okay.
You are an entertaining group. And you, having spoken with your companion, Ms. Rye is such an estimable companion. Do we have a deal?
I would like to just go over and clarify the terms of the agreement before I...
Of course. And we shall put it in writing, of course, as any good contract should be.
Of course. So I would be free to leave your domain, but would be given the ability to send back my works to you as I complete them.
Indeed. How frequently shall you be sending them? Let's establish that now.
I think that it would be fair if I am allowed if I were to bring in my master work, I get to complete one couplet a month. And you yourself mentioned that you would be curious to see what I could do in a month's time, perhaps one work a month?
I find this agreeable. One work a month. You remain in my service for 100 years from this date.
D&D's going to become like my part-time job now.
And
100 years.
Your residence, darling?
My residence.
Are you about to come back?
I have said I was going to give me those last 20 years to train apprentices. I do find that less necessary. I can always find another wordsmith, perhaps not quite to your quality, but who's to say any apprentice you would train would be quite your match. Students so rarely surpass their teachers.
So in lieu of that, I would be in your service for 100 years, barring the presentation of a masterwork, after which time I would be allowed to work on a couplet a month, or venture into a new art form, provided I come back here to train under that art form and have your permission to pursue it.
Indeed.
Final small bits of clarification. If there should be an untimely death, would the service continue afterwards?
Oh, certainly.
And the ability that you would grant me would allow me to communicate across planes.
Eventually, when you reach that point. As I said, there is a bit of a learning curve.
Do I have to be here to start that learning curve?
Oh no, as I said, I would send one of my children with you.
What does that entail precisely?
Almost a clicking sound echoes through the room, and from the little tunnel behind, not little, but from the tunnel behind the Underlord comes one of these fist-sized creatures, this little eyeball with these 4 tiny little eye stalks sticking up, and it's this soft purplish color with pebbly skin.
Dude, it's like Phantasy
just
Star. You
hovers
got a
there.
mag.
It looks at you. It just goes.
But
Jordan's
it gets
gonna
that
hate that
reference.
thing.
It's 100 points.
Hoping for adorable is more disturbing.
Crochet a funny hat.
It's towards
That's an
sleep. Not
excellent-
just
What sort of information does he return to you, this little creature?
What I need.
Is it going... You said that you're sending him so that I could develop
Learn
this...
from him, yes.
How does one learn from him? Does
When
he
the deal is
speak because
struck.
he's...
He will give you his name, and you will be tied back to me.
Oh. So... I would not necessarily have the capability. I would more just be a link through that.
You're on the Wi-Fi network.
I would gift you power, including, once you get there, the communication ability that you desire.
Okay, so we're just making all these trades for power.
If you have any questions, any need to
Is-
communicate with me, you
mhm.
mentioned to Marcel that you were looking for someone.
That was something I wanted to bring up, but perhaps would be best concluded after this arrangement and dealt with separately. I would not want to get that tied up in anything that I did not have a bit more control over, perhaps. This nameless individual here might cause some stir in some places we might go. Is he able to be seen, or will he look different?
He can be subtle, and occasionally will
Text
deign to hide in a pouch. He
I
is what he
see.
is. You are mine, and I am not ashamed to put my mark on you.
Will there be a physical mark?
Oh no.
That's so sweet in a terrifying way.
right.
It's like obsessive, crazy stalker person.
Eye stalker?
Yes, indeed.
Enough waffling. I do believe we have agreed to terms. Do we have a deal?
I'm afraid to say yes because she's gonna like screw me somehow. But
Just to clarify, what you are essentially agreeing to is you'll take your next level in Warlock.
What? Oh.
This
Just
is
want to make
amazing.
sure that
I
is
could take
clear.
my level in Warlock. I could become a patron of the Traveler, apparently. Like, I got all these options. I'm just gonna... This character's going places I never thought.
I will say, if you make the deal, your next level will be Warlock.
I see.
I
I mean, that's kind of cool on one hand.
I want to put that on the table. Make sure that you
Yeah,
understand
no,
that's what's happening.
that helps as a player to understand what's happening mechanically.
If that's not something you want to do, you haven't struck the deal yet.
Sure. My goal was to reach level 10 in Bard. That's where things really help. So I was thinking I might be willing to multi-class after this. So it's at the point where it's at least on the table, but dang.
All right, tell you what.
That's crazy that gives me an insight into how like high level this guy is, that he could, for lack of a better way of putting it, sponsor a
It's
Warlock.
a good thing we weren't dum-dums.
Tell you
The
what.
day's not over yet.
Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
We will be right back. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. Jordan, go ahead and take some time to think things over, and we will come back to this moment.
Okay.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you shortly. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody, for being patient, and we will go ahead and I think Kazator has had enough time to come up with Jordan has had enough time to come up with what he wants to do with Kazator. So we'll jump right back in here in the moment. The Underlord has asked, do we have a deal?
There's no other method besides this thing accompanying me, I assume.
There's always room for negotiation. What would you have instead?
Perhaps something less conspicuous. An item or an article of clothing. Something that would be tied to you, that was enchanted perhaps. That would not require an individual to accompany. That could be...
Seriously, can't wait for Jonathan to hear all of this nonsense.
Something that an individual that would have to keep up and stay out of sight at certain times and just could present problems to my entire group, and I do not want to endanger my group because of our arrangement.
Oh yes, Shad, there's these amazing journals of telescription. K-Store actually has one that I gave him that keeps him in contact with my cousin's study. Perhaps it could be something like this, and then you can see the actual text being written.
I am open to this. I would require something more consistent than once a month, if that is indeed the case. Not any great gift, just a tale of your travels. Where you go, who you meet. The sort of thing you might tell any acquaintance, really.
So basically, a magic diary that the Underlord gets to read.
He's just
Pen pal.
he's
Not creepy at all.
Bro, you're like a blogger. You just got your first subscriber.
I think we just invented content creators.
Yes. Canon.
It's canon.
Yeah.
Kazator's the first.
So canon.
It's a pioneer, you know.
I would require daily updates if my child is not with you.
Even if all those updates are is still walking?
Oh, still walking. Saw these trees and this bird and met these individuals and made good time because it was good weather or was rained on and it was cold and so made poor time. Such information can be useful.
He just wants to live vicariously through you.
The information can be useful is the part I'm afraid of.
So that was 36,500 messages over a span of a century.
5,000. Sorry.
100 minutes.
It's a lot of messages over the span of a century.
Well, it's not a message. It's just a writing.
Yeah, it's a lot of. For every day, you have to write. You know what?
That would be a lot of.
I cooked today. It was nice.
There would be a lot of paper. Would there be? Would I need to reacquire a method once a journal was filled, or would this be a journal that somehow resets each day?
Oh, I shall fashion it so that it suits what you need.
Very well.
I think I have the
Say
basis
things
for
like
one
that.
already. I'll have to go look at my less valuable treasures.
That almost feels like.
So
it
I
is.
keep my soul, but I have to write a lot more.
Essentially, you'll be providing him with updates of the weather, the terrain, the where y'all are going, major players that y'all are talking to.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
be
information there.
I'm gonna be the informant for his cartographer and his socio-political demographer.
Or if he's not following you, you could lie. But you know.
That's right.
Good.
Say that in front of the DM. Yes.
We know it won't work.
The journal will still have like an eyeball on it somewhere.
Is there something? Is there not something you could give me with all of your power that you would allow you to see me and where I am?
Does he have to take it in the privy, or can he like nod?
That would not
How
be a
everything
living
does he need to
thing.
share? Sorry.
I could give you an anchor. Something that would let me see everything you see, everywhere you go. You would not be able to hide anything from me.
Would I with your child?
As I said,
Good.
in certain circumstances, he deigns to allow himself to be hid in a pouch or some other such item. At his discretion.
Mm-hmm.
He is his own creature. Some other of my followers have formed great bonds of attachment to my children.
What? Oh no! What if we were in a very dangerous situation and something were to happen to him?
There are safeguards in place. Essentially, he would be discorporated for a time.
And what would my responsibility be during that time?
Oh, during the time until I lend him the power to reform himself and get back together, you would continue as you were. You would make no attempt to hide yourself from him, of course.
But
He
he
would
would find
return
his
to
way
you
back to
quickly.
me.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Magic GPS.
Journal's sounding better and better.
How many familiars does this guy have?
Right?
You've
I
seen
mean,
at least two.
I like the idea that there is at least potential to put this thing away. It requires less updates. Yeah, the journal though, because I'm assuming with the journal I would not be taking a level in Warlock.
If you want the
But I
power, that's part of the deal. In order to get the spells or the abilities that come with it.
I see. So he wasn't just talking about the sending spell, and because he was giving me, or whatever, like the ability to communicate wrapped up in that was this bigger picture of Warlock, essentially. Is why I was asking. I thought maybe with a journal. So even in that sense, he would still be, I would still be looking at that track.
If you want the sending spell in particular, that's always something you can try and negotiate for.
Not particular. I just thought that was kind of sending our message, or what? Yeah, sending. I think is what it is, to communicate with
sending
him.
Or message, either one. But the
one has a range.
Message has a range. Sending is across the planes.
Yeah.
Message is also significantly easier to cast. But the deal with him, the lending you the power to go and travel and see things and accomplish your goals and whatever you're going to do with it, and then tell him about it in service to him for the next century.
Okay.
That's the pact that he is proposing. The minutia of how exactly he tracks or how exactly y'all communicate.
I see. So
y'all can negotiate that. If you want to renegotiate the concept,
I see.
That's something you're going to need to address.
Okay. So my final question for you before we conclude this negotiation: is there any benefit or that I would be losing, or anything that is lesser about communicating you via this journal instead of allowing your child to accompany?
It's more effort on your part, certainly. With my child can provide aid to you in a variety of circumstances. Things that he can accomplish, things that he can see, abilities he possesses that you would be able to access. You've heard, of course, of a familiar.
Indeed.
He would function much the same way. The tighter the bond between you, the more you would be able to do with him.
Would it be of a conflict if I already had a familiar?
I don't see why you shouldn't be able to work things out.
Maybe Jojo wants a friend.
Jojo's gonna get so jealous.
Pokemon team.
A really creepy friend.
Oh, but he smiles so nice. Such a big grin.
Rows of teeth.
Dude, get your second Pokemon. Get on
Yeah,
somebody
but-
put that on. Somebody put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
I'm very conflicted, but in order not to hold up this game anymore, I'm gonna roll. I don't know.
Keep in mind, pacts can be broken.
Sure.
You saw that with Val. You've seen that with Cora.
Right.
Is,
Okay.
Apparently, it's.
What you got, Rai?
well, Shad, darling, see, the thing is, Casator doesn't really need assistance with going places.
If he needs my permission to leave my domain.
Well, yes, obviously your domain, but I'm talking about further than that, like leaving to other worlds and other places to go see things. I mean, if he's using a small bit of your power to send you back stories and ideas...
Well, then he only needs a small bit of power, and he can pursue other things, of course.
I don't know if you want to do anything with that.
This is the deal, is it not? I give you some power, and you gain your freedom, the ability to leave. And I gain your service for the next century.
What if you just gain his service and a journal? Not the power.
What do you wish, Bard?
That he never tried to summon you.
Unfortunately, that is even beyond the Underlord's power in this moment. Turning back time?
What would that look like if I would just...
Bad.
to just... I would still be in service to you for the next 100 years.
Yes.
But I just
If you
wouldn't
wish to
have-
leave, that is unfortunately part of the deal.
Then bring me the notebook and draw up the paperwork.
Very well.
Oh God.
He hovers a piece of parchment over to you. Write the contract. I shall view it and I shall sign it.
I write it with summoning ink. Okay. Just so I don't delay and have to think about this right now, I will write up the contract and send it to you, Lauren, and you can tell me if it's good or if I need to, if he would make me revise it or whatever, and we'll come to the agreement that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Just to establish the terms.
Yep.
He gets your service for a century.
Yep.
What do you want?
I thought that was okay.
If you want to take the time to establish exactly what
want-
it's going to look like, we can.
I
we
want
can do
to
that.
be free to go wherever I want. I want all the power he's going to give me. I want my sister back and to live happily ever after.
Well, he can definitely help with some of those things. And maybe make a few inroads on some of the others. You don't know yet.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We'll draw up the thing, and then I will mention to him, because I wanted to talk about my sister, and simply say, you mentioned that Marcel had talked to you, that told you I was looking for someone, which is true. Someone very close to me, and all that I know right now is that she is bound by a spell that is in 4 parts in some sort of extraplanar dimension or pocket. And I have a lead only to find the first part of the key in breaking that spell. And I would be interested in help that you could provide in finding or bringing her back.
You want information? Or do you want more?
I want her. If you could get me, that's dangerous. If you could.
I like to think that Casey
Go on.
said that.
If you, yeah, no. So if you could, that's dangerous. If you could break her out of that, get her to me, that would be of utmost interest. Scaling down from there, information is probably the next best thing.
You've already seen some of my power to shape reality as I will it. With the proper information, I think we can come to an arrangement.
What kind of information?
A location would be helpful. If you find rumors, and likewise I will keep, of course, my resources are at your disposal.
What if I could trade you now something for at least... I know where the first part to this binding spell is. What if I could trade you something for information as to where another might be?
So, you have the first part already. You know...
Oh, the second part,
vaguely
right.
the location of the second. Just making sure you remember
That's right.
that.
Okay, yeah. So the first part was in the Veritas Folio,
Yes.
Okay, so the Veritas Folio is the first part. And yeah, I know the second's on Vondera. In a cave near Red Rock with a guardian, etc. So I just remembered today that the Lay of Kalia existed, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta post it. We'll get back to that. Yeah, part one.
Part one.
Yeah. So, okay. I have the first part, and if seeing that would give you more of an idea or a tie to that spell, if any information to find the last two pieces.
The flavor would be helpful. To taste.
That's what I gathered.
Each person, each type of magic, each spell has a flavor. Those discerning can learn to judge subtle differences. Show me what you have, and I shall see if I cannot assist in locating another part.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I will pull out the Veritas Folio and show it to him.
Okay. He looks it over, and there's an intensifying alteration of his gaze. It's hard to tell the difference.
Okay.
You've gotten the idea that several times over the course of this conversation, he has activated and deactivated and activated and deactivated his anti-magic cone.
Okay. At this point, he's deactivating it?
At this point, it is off.
I'm smart again.
I cast Gash!
Briefly. Briefly.
So the whole time he's been doing it, I would have been like, whoa. I would have been recognizing it.
So
Directly affects me.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? No.
It's a little light bulb that keeps going on and off.
Yeah.
I imagine
Essentially.
I would be getting a headache.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Because you're thinking, and it feels like you're normal, and then all of a sudden your thoughts just start speeding up and spinning, and your brain's going and connecting things and making these leaps of logic, and then suddenly your brain just slows down again.
I think I probably would take the thing off my head and loop it into my belt so I don't lose it, because that would probably suck to deal with.
But there's an intensifying to his gaze. The one of the eye stalks, the same one that had rotated to pick up the journals and to take the sword, focuses on the gaze, on the folio, and the pages turn. It's almost as though the arcane script on it starts glowing. And then it folds back together, and he floats it over to you and hovers it right in front of you.
I will take it and put it away.
If I come across any other magics that are flavored in such a way, we will discuss what to do with it. And certain things seem valuable to you, and I would hate to pin you down to a cost at this point. Are there any other things that you need from me? Anything you would trade for? Requests to be made?
That to the group.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, this is important to me, and I have a work prepared specifically for this search that is dear to me as the one I seek is dear to me, and would it be of interest to you for me to give you this work and exchange for the information when you come across it?
I have not seen it before. If it is unique and interesting.
It is unique. It is one of a kind, as I said, as it is specific to this endeavor, and it is meaningful to me because of the one that I am searching for. And this would be the only instance where this work would be displayed.
I'm listening. Do go on.
Does that mean like send it?
If you are offering it to the Underlord, yeah.
Okay. Just gonna go poorly. I wanted to do more with this, but I am not skilled at this, so it's okay. Let me pull up my soundboard here. Okay. It's gonna be so bad.
Believe in you,
Oh
Jordan.
man. Thanks, Brenda.
Jordan, if you want
Yes.
more time to work with it or tinker with it,
Oh, it's
you
okay.
can-
I've had a couple weeks.
I was gonna say
I tried doing stuff and it didn't.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll just RP that it's better when K-Store does it than when. Is this one of the times when I see that the cone is off, or is it on right now? I have a way to tell.
You don't feel like it has been activated since the eye stalk has just handed you this folio back.
Okay. I will.
And you get the sense that the eye stalks can't activate within the realm
Sure.
of the gaze.
So I will set my drum over to the side and cast Mage Hand to have it start
Oh, goody.
doing the drum. Oh, don't fail me now.
That would be epic. Yeah.
And then I will take out my lute and start playing the lute. Oh no, I will. So I'll set it Mage Hand to start playing it. Just like, are these even the right? My drum pad's failing. It's fine. I wasn't gonna do. It's fine. It's okay. It was
Magic mixtape.
it was minimal. It was minimal. It was just for effect. So it's playing. I'm gonna take out 2 candles from my bag that I have in my sack and put those down. And I am
the
going.
ambiance, I like it.
Yep. I am going to light the 2 candles. Do what? Does who cat dark? Oh no, that doesn't matter because non-magical light cannot penetrate. Or no, can magical light penetrate?
Mm-mm.
High
I don't
level
think so.
magic.
Yeah, it's
High level, but then non-magical light can't. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so drums are playing. I set down candles.
I'll cast dancing lights.
Oh, sweet. Okay, and then I trigger my Rube Goldberg that I have set up in the Underlord's lair. That was a lot less light than I thought.
You gotta have like a right now with the mustache and the goatee and the red.
I know. I can't tell you how many weeks I've had to set up that stupid setup so I could pull the light because I didn't know when we were going to get here.
Oh.
In theory, this is all happening at once. Fast paced.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Oh
come
my
on.
gosh.
There'll be a little bit light from the pad too so you can see.
I love that you are actually doing this.
Okay. Let's see if I can control multiple things at once. Okay, make your volume's up. Okay, we're just going to send this.
Oh my god, Jordan.
do it.
listen, but I won't. Some look for easy answers, while others don't. There's 1,000 reasons I should just be on my way and ignore your offers before I get led astray. Oh. Oh. You're not a saint. You're a Machiavellian in disguise, and if I heed you, which I can't, what if they're only lies? Not everyone who's dear to me is here inside this room. I'm afraid if I don't take this chance, she's sentenced to her doom. I'm ready for adventure, but is this more than I can take? I'm afraid that if I make a deal, it's a big mistake. There's too much unknown. Diving into the unknown. Into the unknown. What do you want? Only the height of all my skill? Are you here to distract me? A test of focus and my will? Or are you someone who can help me with the desire of my heart? Can you get me all the way or just give me a start? Every day's a little harder as she waits there all alone. Don't you know I'd give anything to bring her home? Out of the unknown, out of the unknown. I think I started higher. Out of the unknown. My roommates are here. Oh, she is out there, and I know it. I'd do anything just to show it. Oh, oh,
Oh my God.
don't know what I'm doing. I won't leave you alone. How do I follow you into the unknown? I don't have a way to turn my lights back on.
No, you must sit in your own dark.
I cast darkness on Jordan.
Wow.
Maybe. There we go.
Ooh, ambient smoke. I don't know if you can actually see that.
Oh wow.
Oh,
That was delightful.
that was it.
Go ahead and roll performance
Okay.
at advantage and take a D6 of DM inspiration because that was amazing.
Thank you.
The whole thing was amazing,
Okay.
but my favorite part was anytime you were triggering for her to sing, the look on your face was hilarious.
I recorded that. Yeah. That's why I was muted at the beginning of session, because I was re-recording that because my phone died and those were on the old phone, so I had to re-record them. Here we go. Well, hold on. Only one went in the dice roller, so it was good though. So that's good. Okay, yeah, because that was crap. Plus that's a 1. Performance.
Yes.
Okay. Thankfully, that is good. So we're good. The 2 times I've had to perform for him, at least, like the ones that counted, not the little poems, have been good. It's not as good as last time, but it's still 29.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey.
That'll do, big.
Good movie. So the Underlord is enraptured during your performance. The gaze focused on you. You can feel the power contained within. And as you finish, there's just as he hovers, he just starts nodding his head. His little eye stalks wobble a little bit. It is a deal.
They're all head banging.
Head's just
Yes.
bouncing.
It's a singular headbang of a floating head.
Essentially.
The little eye stalk's doing it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts doing the wave across the top of his head.
Yeah.
They're casting light ray and just like the lighter, you know.
That's what he does. The power ballot.
Yeah.
Our terms are set. Our deal is struck. You're free to leave.
We'll let
Of course,
you know
if you
what
wish
we
to
are.
help those poor souls on your way out, by all means.
Calling out Val.
No, looking directly at Solyex.
Oh, it's Solyex, because he was, yeah.
I don't know. There's so many eyes. I wasn't quite sure.
Well, this is not my domain. I should hope that you would take better care of yours that you claim to protect. There we go.
Have you any other
Sure.
deals to be struck?
While I'm on a roll, no.
I happen to have this book of jokes.
I have a couple death saving throws left that I'm not using.
A couple, literally.
Remove them.
Literally down to 2. Go ahead.
Both?
I gesture at the mithril chainmail that you told me was there earlier, and how do I say what I'm trying to say?
This is smart Doran back, by the way. Since
Oh,
the
good.
performance,
I put the headband on during the performance.
Okay.
Yeah. The material that this is made of, I see many of your people. They seem to be wearing. I see it here. I don't know if this would be as much of an exciting transaction, your gloriousness, but I was perhaps hoping a goods trade. Maybe I have something I could give you in exchange for some of that material. Not necessarily chainmail, but the material itself, the mithril itself. Would that interest you at all?
Well, it does depend on what you have to offer.
Your
The material
opulence.
itself is no longer within our capability to mine, of course. The vein that we tapped has been tapped out. We have some few worked pieces left. This chainmail here is the last work of one of my favorite smiths. He died some 150 years ago. Still sad. But I'm willing to part with it. And I have some very few ingots left of this material. What would you give me?
He's got rubies.
Well played, sir. Well
For a good-
played.
For a good time.
And
call
his
the 11th
true
hour.
name is Doran.
Doran
I
H.
think I would. I don't know what you said, but I'll take it as an insult. I will take the golden dragon robot head off and off of wherever I have it strapped to myself. Well,
Strapped
no,
to
it's
your
like
back.
it's a turtle shell at this point.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and not thunking it down or anything, but hefting it down and propping it up. This is something that I've never seen before, but it was a great beast that we had slain in a temple, and this is part of the remains. And I thought it was quite interesting. It's something I've never seen before, and I thought perhaps this might be a treasure you might find interesting. Maybe you would have someone who could mount it or keep it as a trophy somewhere.
Oh, it's much more valuable than that. Mere trophy for a work like this, no. But to learn what makes it work. Look at the fine workmanship of the gears and the clockwork inside. Oh, yes. 3 ingots. Is that sufficient?
That would Be most gracious.
Very well. I will have it delivered to you by the time you leave my domain.
Thank you very much, Your Opulence. Opulence. Your Grace.
Yes, sir.
And
That was good.
I died.
power word kill.
Mark Doran back. That was good.
My gods will show you the way out. My bard, do not forget our deal. Miss Rye, always a pleasure. Do come back. You bring the
Less
most
so this time, darling.
the most interesting things.
Well, perhaps you'll be more amenable next time.
And he disappears from view in front of you.
That's not good. That's not good.
One of the guards behind you,
I summon it now.
one of the guards behind you shifts. You sort of look over your shoulder and he gestures for you.
Right, Gazator, the White Brand.
we need
to
to
leave here, yes.
Yeah.
But,
Do I just ignore the guard and start drawing the sigil?
well, no, Doran needs to collect his ingots. So after Doran has collected his ingots, wherever that may be, then
Yes, we definitely need to get to White Brand, so.
and then from there, I have to get to Dragonstone.
Yo,
Wait,
I need
is
to
White
get to a
Brand-
forge.
Wait. Was I supposed to go to White Brand or Dragon Throne?
You need
White
to-
Brand.
It was White Brand. Okay. All right. We'll follow him.
Yo,
Alright.
we got some through.
Is Yakko gonna need me to blindfold Celiax again?
Not at this point. As you'll turn around and head out the tunnel, it lasts. This disorientation, this lurching sensation, lasts for a heartbeat, 2 heartbeats, longer. As you're walking, you feel your body moving. It's like you're walking. You cannot feel the ground around you, but you can't stop moving. It's definitely a longer transition to get you from one place to another. You emerge into a long, narrow hallway.
Is it like that? Is it like the walkway at the airport? That
Kind of, yeah. Kind of that sensation of when you first step onto one and suddenly you're moving a lot faster than you used to. But you're not just moving through, like you can't see what's happening
Yes,
around you.
it's
It's
not
just
bad.
the sensation. Y'all head through this hallway, which is now carved stone. There's another dark, dimly lit, or a dark tunnel doorway that leads out, and you end up back in Ard, in the entrance where you first came in.
Are Doran's ingots waiting for us?
As a matter of fact, there is a young tiefling boy, 14, 16, who is waiting there for you. A little bit out of breath, as he's been lugging these around. And even though they're lighter than normal metal, they're still, ingots.
It's metal.
Yeah.
I'll take those from you, lad. Thank you very much.
He gives a bow. He sort of looks over at Rye, gives a bow,
Curtsy.
and then he clears the teleport circle and heads towards Thu.
Goes on through.
Who's on first?
Gazator?
Yeah.
The White Brand then?
Do we want to do the circle in here or wait till we've made our way out of the cave?
I don't think it truly will matter. Remember, the entrance, there's also the pitfall of spiders.
Yeah, I'd love to avoid that.
I think here is just as good as any place.
Fair
I'm
What
enough.
are
gonna
they
put my
talking?
charm
I'm
back
drawing.
on.
You don't want to go dealing with the spiders again? No,
I mean,
it was so much
I'm
fun the
always
first
game
time.
for a fight, but
But it was so much fun the first time.
I participated.
Oh, let's get out.
Yes.
All right, are we teleporting?
While we're talking, I was drawing the sigil on the ground.
Why?
Okay. And you're heading to the Temple of Ayun in Whitebrand?
That is
Cool.
correct.
I didn't realize we could just straight up do that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can cast teleportation sigil, and I know there are basically 3 I can get us to right now, and we'll learn more. So
Hopefully we can find one. When we get to Whitebrand, we need to try to find one that'll take us to Dragon Throne.
right. And then I can memorize the one in Dragon Throne once we get there.
Yep.
We've never been, well, Celiax has, but the rest of us have never been to Dragon Throne, right?
Nope.
Have we gone there? Okay.
Yep. We've been there.
Radical. I can't wait for this.
I'm about to go home. This is going to be interesting.
All right, you head to the, you complete the teleportation circle. The symbols are drawn, you step through, you emerge into the heat of a Whitebrand day, right on the border of the Scorchland Desert. You actually emerge into a little bit of a hullabaloo. There's a young elven man who is raising a fuss, asking for directions very, very loudly towards the nearest stable. Rye, this is a very familiar figure to you.
I'm gonna say under my breath, I have an argument with one elf, and you can have an argument with 2. And then call it very loudly, Elf, darling, what are you doing here?
He turns around, he glares at you and just says, "You!" And that is where we're going to go ahead and pause today's session.
All right.
So, were we greeted by Laneth when we got to the teleportation circle?
Laneth is over trying to help deal with the hullabaloo with
Okay.
Oust.
Okay.
There are about 4 or 5 individuals who are
Gotcha.
trying to calm this situation.
Cool. Have we met Oust?
Nope.
I don't recall. Okay, perfect. I feel better.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. That was fun. That was crazy. Oh
What
my
a
gosh.
Session.
So thank you. Go ahead and check out our social media pages for updates if anything's changed. We are on, if you're watching on Twitch, we have our VODs released on Fridays on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, check us out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/thekeeprpg. We stream on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. If you are, if you're here watching from the States, you'll be safe out there. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, so stay home if you can. Wash your hands, wear a mask, take care of yourselves. That's the biggest thing. Just take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thank you guys. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.